Hey kids, it's time for the season finale of your favorite show, KWJUDAS.
Jack pulled out his piece, capped his ass, grabbed the cash and ran. The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master of the Tommy? The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master? Who's the master of the Tommy gun? The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master of the Tommy gun? The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master? Who's the master of the Tommy gun? Jack decided he was gonna hide out in Mexico while lay it low and take it slow. It was a year ago that day that Jack made his little invest, but he did not know that Sam wore his bulletproof vest. In the late hours of the early morning moon, a shadow crept across Jack's room. Jack is the dead man, the shadow said. Jack is the dead man, the shadow said. Jack is the dead man, the shadow said. The Tommy got shot, boom, Jack was dead. The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master of the Tommy gun? The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master? Who's the master of the Tommy gun? The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master of the Tommy gun? The last man standing win the battle. Who's the master? Who's the master of the Tommy gun?
Yeah. We got Hooray Who on KWJUDAS.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I didn't know what to say after that.
all
Besides
right.
that, it's been all year since we've been trying to get these guys on the show, and it is about time. Thank you to whatever band it was that canceled so that
Right.
we could get these guys
Yeah,
on.
Thank you.
'cause-
I want to say thank you. So.
It's
I'm
good
not
to
going to
hear.
say their name because they broke up.
Oh, well, that's probably why they didn't make it.
Yeah, and it was
It'd be
going to
kinda
be
awkward.
our last show of the year,
That's right. Happy New Year.
and they missed it.
That's right. Damn it.
It still is the last show of the year.
No, their loss is our
Yeah.
gain, right?
Uh-huh.
Here we
It
are.
is. It is. I would have rather had you guys anyway.
Well, thanks.
Well, so would
Yeah.
we.
Yeah.
I mean, they were cool and everything, but we, as long as we have been a show, have had very, very little ska. And our station plays ska all the damn time.
Really? Yeah.
Well, there's not a whole lot of still performing ska bands left around.
There's
you know,
not.
unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I guess out for this in Utah area, yeah, that would be the case. You know, there's still like this underground ska movement happening, California and stuff. Yeah, but it's just not as prevalent like it was back when we were doing our heyday. Like,
and yet, like, Insatiable is still around, man.
That's true.
I don't think they ever stopped.
Like,
No.
and just
they may have
amazing.
had times that they didn't. They weren't playing as actively,
right.
but I'm pretty sure Insatiable has still stayed at least active enough to say they've been a band since God knows. I don't even know when they started, but yeah, I'm glad you brought those guys up.
Absolutely.
I'd love to get them on the show too.
I want to say they've been around early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out about them because of the Scarmageddon soundtrack. It wasn't even from growing up here. I just picked up a ska soundtrack at the CD Warehouse, if y'all remember that place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Out there on Brigham's Landing. And
Nice.
I saw that they were from Utah,
Right.
and then I started seeing like their name around, and I was like, "Oh, it's that band, Walking Shang Booty."
Yep.
And I would see your guys' name on the flyers too, but unfortunately, I never caught you guys when I was a 16-year-old ska kid back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
no, it's all right. Well, we'd never played in the Utah County as much as we kind of wanted to, but
Well, that's where it was
yeah,
happening.
we were based northern Utah, like
So,
Ogden,
Ogden?
Ogden area.
Word.
We even did like it was a South by Southwest
Right.
Oh, no
competition.
shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
we were doing and they thought we were from Denver. Yeah,
Word.
yeah. They're like, oh,
When
some
was
ska
this?
band from Denver?
Was that the 2000,
1999 or 2000? It's about
2001 maybe?
somewhere around there. Yeah,
But it
Oh,
was I mean, it was they did a really well organized battle of the bands setup though, kind of tournament style. So they'd have one weekend they'd have like 5 bands play at 6 different clubs, and the top 2 bands from each venue or something like that moved on. And we had to play our first round show with a substitute guitar player. And then we
Nice.
played our second round show with me taking lead vocals because Zach was getting home from Chicago and was stuck circling around above Salt Lake City because of fog. So we played at the Old Manhattan Club without our lead singer, and then we got to the finals were at the
And you still kept moving up.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I thought for sure. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
that's
But he's
it.
he's like, dude, we
keep
won. I'm like,
winning?
no kidding.
Hell yeah.
No kidding.
You
So,
know, see
yeah.
the trick to that was the gamesmanship of not outright, coming out and being very obvious with it. With our singer's not here, so we're gonna do it. We didn't say anything
it's
about it.
probably
but I
better.
made sure that a few people around in the crowd knew, so that it would filter back to the judges. Because
Right.
because then you get best of both worlds. You get, oh man, their singer's not here. They didn't even say shit about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I was impressed with these guys.
So did you win?
it's what-
No.
No,
Ah,
I think we came in like third or fourth.
Yeah, third or fourth. But I mean,
it's
Zach.
because your old guitar and freaking singer came back around.
Right,
You guys
Yeah.
ruined
I
it.
know,
had the
like,
whole,
we totally
but
did.
Matthew, the final was at the Zephyr.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was, I mean, I think it was Thunderfist and
Was it
I
Zach?
haven't heard
Zach
those
Zach
guys.
Zach Parrish. I
He's
think
the one
they
that
won.
Zach Parrish, he's a blues guy,
Yep,
I guess, but
yep.
he won.
Let's see. I think Johnny Lightfoot was in the finals.
He may have been in there too.
But it was a blast, man. What a fun time. Anytime playing the old Zephyr, man. That was.
Yeah, I don't even know how that got started. Like we went from Provo ska to Zephyr Championship or Battle of Bands
Hey, man,
for South by
that's,
Southwest competition, but
Well, hey, I mean, it took you there and it got you there.
yeah, some of my biggest inspirations I'm Zach, by the way.
Hey, Zach.
How are you, Zach?
I'm doing
I
good,
guess now
thanks.
we backtrack to the introduction of everyone in the band.
Yeah.
I am Judas. I'm the host of this show, and this is our season finale of season 7. This is Hooray Who, and that's Zach.
Thank you.
Hi, Zach.
Hi, how's it going?
And what do you do in the band, Zach?
I'm the singer in the band.
He's the singer in the band.
And I write a little here and there.
And he writes.
Yeah, I write.
You don't play any instruments?
I do, but not in the band.
You don't need to.
Yeah, no.
Well,
It's
fuck
too
all
much.
that. Queasty.
Yeah. I'm above that. No, I'm just kidding.
And then we got this guy.
I'm Matt.
He's Matt.
Hi.
What do you play?
I'm the trumpet player.
He's the trumpet
And he
player.
sings too. As
we all
alluded
kind
to.
of we all kind of
Yeah.
sing. We do, but trumpet, vocals,
And he writes all the music.
No.
most of it.
Do you?
just
he
most
writes
of
all
it.
the music for his trumpet lines.
Well,
Okay.
It's a collective effort. Let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, like everybody, there's an 8. We are an 8-piece band, and we started off as a 7-piece. Then
Were you guys both original members?
yeah, so
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, that was
So
Zach.
what year
there is a
this?
history that goes pretty far back. Yeah.
Zach and I started playing music. We met the summer of 1991, hustling games on the Midway at Lagoon.
Yeah, we were both
There you
working at
go.
Lagoon, and I asked him. So I wanted to put a band together, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you play an instrument?" And he said, "Yeah, I play the trumpet." And it wasn't what I was expecting. Like I was thinking, because in my head I was thinking I need a guitarist, I need a drummer, a bassist.
Right.
Like I needed like your rock band stuff, and trumpet. And I thought about it for a while, and then I'm like, oh, we should put something together. Like I'm starting this band, and he's like, yes. And he left for break, and he comes back with this little poster, little logo thing that he drew on a napkin. He's like, what do you think of this? And I was like, dude, you're totally in the band. We're gonna get going. So
Well, but the thing that drew us together in the first place was inevitably you were just bored as hell one afternoon, and so we're just shooting the shit. And he says, "What's your favorite band, man?" I said, "Oingo,
that's
Oingo
right.
Boingo."
Yeah, we were going over music.
He about and
So-
what?
Yeah.
Me
There
too,
you go.
man.
Yeah.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
Oingo Boingo that
Did
did
we
it,
just
for
become
sure.
best friends?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
and
where-
that was Deep Blue. So
Yeah.
that was like a high school band thing, and then
Deep Blue was the name of your band?
Yeah, Deep Blue.
Your
was the
first
name
band?
Yes.
So you guys were what, like 16?
Yes.
Yeah.
15,
Word.
16, something like that. Yeah. Started
Hell yeah.
16. And then
Was it still ska, or like what kind of stuff were you playing?
no, there was some ska in there, huh?
Well,
It was a little different though. It was more like a synth pop.
Right.
Yeah,
it really. I mean,
Like-
it was, and it was. Yeah, it really
kind of
was,
like
it was,
Depeche Mode's like first album
With a trumpet?
with a trumpet.
Did
yeah.
Depeche Mode have a trumpet?
They
not-
wanted to.
Yeah,
They should have.
But it was
wanted
kind of
to.
like this synth pop, and really what it was a bunch of my friends. I'm like, hey, I want to put the band together. Do you have an instrument? And they're like, well, our family got this portable keyboard for Christmas. I'm like, cool, you're in the band. Like,
There
bring
you
it out. You
go.
know? And they'd ride the bus, like the UTA over to the house with their carrying their little keyboard with battery powered. Yeah. So
Yeah, when
and
you're
that's how it
15,
started.
16, your attitude towards being in a band is completely different than when you're like
A working
30,
band?
40.
Yeah. Actual working band.
You're like,
Right.
yeah, making a band is easy. You
Right.
have a keyboard, you don't know how to play it, get your ass over
Yeah,
here.
we're
We're a band now.
We did a pretty good job going from like
And you
very
do.
little experience. Yeah, it's all about the passion
And
you
the
know?
ambition.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
it's invincible at that age.
whenever I auditioned anybody, I mean obviously some technical skills important, but it wasn't like for me it was how passionate are you, because the technical stuff you can pick up.
Yeah.
Like if you really want it bad enough, you're gonna learn to play what you need to play. So.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, some of my favorite influences, I'm going back to Provo again, were ska bands from that time. Like Swim Herschel Swim was probably my most influential
go.
ska band for me personally. And
Word.
wanting to, obviously it was like Danny Elfman with Oingo Boingo, where I'm like, yep, that's what I want to do for a living. Like totally want to be that guy. And
Who doesn't?
Right. Everybody does, right?
Write soundtracks for Tim Burton and shit. I
Right.
mean, really. It's every kid's dream.
But after hearing, what's a local show I think of? KRXRK. No, was it KJQ? Maybe it was KJQ, KXRK. Anyway, they had like a local show, and they would do the
That's like a local radio station.
yeah,
Word.
and they would do like a program for local bands that was like Sunday night.
We
like-
should do something like that. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Right?
Yeah.
get local bands on here. And
Right,
talk
I know.
about
It's like
music.
a wow. Like, and you know what? No one does that anymore. So
I have to write
kudos
that
to
one
you
down.
for doing that. Yeah.
What a great idea I just had.
Yeah. You
Anyway,
should
what the hell were you just talking about?
Anyway, great band. And then
Right.
Hooray Who started off as an idea was just actually me and a tape recording. And my first gig as Hooray Who was performing for Stretch Armstrong.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. So that's how that ska stuff got tied into where we are today. But shortly after that, Matt he went on a mission, and when he came back from his mission, by then I had already recruited a couple other guys, and that was the Hooray Who, the first Hooray Who. There's actually, oh my God, how many times does this band get like disbanded and rebanded? I'm thinking, so first it was me, then it was you, and Taku was from Japan, a foreign exchange student from Japan.
So you were like a 3-piece?
No, then we were like a 4-piece or 5-piece. We had Matt Wilmore playing saxophone, right?
Yeah, we had sax, trumpet, guitar, and Zach. And we had everything.
Right. We didn't have a bass
everything.
player.
No, we didn't have a bass player. We had a
that's
keyboard.
Right. We had a keyboard.
We played
a
pre-recorded bass track, and then we had
Nice.
and then we had a drummer that would come and sit in with us when we would play a live show, but wasn't ever at rehearsal.
Right. So then
He's just that good.
He's a hired hand. He's a hired. His name. He's still playing local. His name is Mike Lomax.
Yeah.
He was in Old Man Johnson, and he plays. He's still playing. All the time. He's up in the Ogden area too. But yeah, he'd come in and like, all right, cool, yeah.
Yeah, well, at
Lay
that
it
time
down.
we were all really young too. That at that time we were like 19, so he put us in about 18, 19 range. He's a year older than me, so. But when he came back, then we had this group, and we played a couple of shows. No, I don't think we played very many, but we played a couple of house parties, a couple of shows at like Layton Park area, because that's where we're based out of Layton. Then that band disbanded, right? So one guy, our drummer.
Everybody moved to Buffalo.
Yeah, like everybody just kind of up and left. And so that band disbanded. Then at that time, I had Matt still on trumpet, and then we had just acquired Dave Drake on saxophone. So I had a trumpet player, saxophone, and myself as a singer, and no band. Well, at that time,
You guys don't count as a band.
Yeah.
Ha.
So
I mean, no offense, horn players.
baby.
but up there in the
If Schlong Bob was here, he'd be pissed.
in northern Utah, there was a place at State Fair Park. It was Farmington,
Davis County Fairgrounds.
There you go. Davis County Fairgrounds in Farmington was this place where they would let local bands play all the time. So it was like a huge mecca for up and coming local bands and stuff.
In Farmington?
In Farmington.
Hell
So-
yeah.
And
Mad props to Farmington.
right.
Oh.
Well, we're talking like 1990.
This is like
Yeah.
97, yeah.
People
96
used to
now.
do shows, I feel like, just wherever a
Right,
lot more
yeah.
back in the 90s.
Well, and we didn't have like all that insurance and liability issues. Like people just like, yeah, you can play,
And kids were actually like into real bands and real instruments.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
not just like crappy electronic music.
But
Mad props, crappy electronic music. Gen Z.
yeah. So, I had gone to these shows all the time, and there was a band called Catfish that had just lost their singer, or she was moving out of state or whatever.
Those guys were cool.
Yeah. So,
With the E at the end.
yep.
I'm not sure if you're supposed to pronounce it differently.
No.
Like catfish.
Catfish. Yeah.
Catfish.
So, at the end of that set, so the very next time I came back there was they had a singer, they had a trumpet player, and a sax player that was brand new, like their first gig.
Word.
I mean, they're holding the lyrics up to their face, like they're doing their best, right? And it sounded awful. And after that show, I went up to him and said, "Hey, who's the leader of the band?" And they all pointed this guy. Oh, it's this guy Cam. So I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, when you're done packing your stuff up, come see me. I got something I got to show you." So they're okay. So the whole band comes out except for there's 3 new guys, right? So it's basically the core of the band meets with me. We go out into my car and I put on some of this Hooray Who stuff that I had recorded when before the band broke up.
Right.
And they're looking at me like, "Dude, this is awesome. Like, well, what do you want with us? And I said, well, funny thing is I'm a singer and I've got a trumpet player and a sax player, and it looks like you guys need all those things. So why don't we just kind of connect and be a band? So that's when Matt, David, and myself joined Catfish.
Word.
Yeah.
So then you joined their band.
Right. They were already a band. They hadn't put out any music yet, so they were kind of new.
So what happened to Hooray Who at the time? Just kind of got put on the shelf?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and they actually the Catfish's album was titled Hooray Who. And then and then we even kind of did a homage to playing a couple of tracks from them. But that's that. And then we played a shit ton of shows as Catfish, and it wasn't until I think 1997 or early 1998 the band finally broke up, and that's when we decided to put Hooray Who back together. And by then we got new members. So those guys are the members that are pretty much here today.
Okay.
So
do you have any recordings from the early years that you're talking about that you sent me here tonight?
I do. We even have some new music too. So
let's start with the old stuff.
All right. Girl Like You.
All right. This is Girl Like You from back in the day.
Yep.
What year would you say?
2000. This album came out in 2000.
All right.
So 22 years ago. Almost 23.
Over 2 decades old here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. It is Hooray Who, and Happy New Year to you.
Oh, sweet sugar, don't you drive too far. I'm gonna chase you down in your little red carpet. Sweet sugar, don't you drive too far. I'm gonna chase you down in your little red carpet. You're looking so fly, baby, what's your name? Thread you wear to drive me insane. Your boogie woogie boots ain't freaking with my brain. No stands for chicks to shade. So what's I gotta do, girl, to put you in the mood? But don't make your move. But what's a guy like me to do to meet a girl just like you? Expect so soft and smooth. Hypnotic to you, infectious mood. Loving me, you'll never lose. Tell me what a man must do to meet a girl like you. I saw you at the nightclub, baby, with your friends, yeah, grooving to a rhythm of seductive sin. I said I saw you in the nightclub, baby, with your friends, yeah, grooving to a rhythm of seductive sin. I can feel the body kipping and it's making me high, but looking in your eyes, no wonder why. I'll take a shake for the road just to get me by, with the kiss on her lips so I can really fly. So lay it on me, baby, and don't delay. We can pretend the world has stopped, cause all I wanna do is be yours someday. If you move fast, that's how I like to play. Hypnotic, infectious, loving me, you'll never lose. Tell me what a man must do to meet a girl like you. Rah! Loving me, you'll never lose. Tell me what a man must do to meet a girl like you. Your last chance to dance with me. chance to dance with me.
You set my body in motion and my mind at ease.
Let me tell what the hell my notion is, please.
But you gotta let me know if it's only a tease.
You can roll the dice, but if you're playing, I'll leave.
So tell me what to do, girl, to put you in the mood.
Virginity questions don't make your move.
What's a guy like me to do to meet a girl like you?
A virginity like the soul soft.
Tell me what now?
Hypnotic to your infectious, loving me, you're never lose. Tell me what a man must do to meet a girl like you. Nobody knows what's going on in Africa with the Ethiopians. Spin your front around, ball, 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 spin around, ball, 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 ball. Everybody knows that, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Promenade your lady home, ball, 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 ball. If I were an Ethiopian, I would be square dancing, and I would love the life of it. If I was square dancing, if I were an Ethiopian, square dancing. Not much to do in the desert sun, unless you're square dancing like an Ethiopian. So listen to me very carefully. The devil lives in the dry debris. Yet somehow will they believe that dancing can set your own so fresh. So if I were an Ethiopian, I would be square dancing, and I would love the life of it. If I was square dancing. The day will come where everyone will see the Ethiopian and his square dancing. Stop spinning your fun around, ball, 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 spin around, ball, 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 ball. Everybody knows that, oh, ball, 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 promenade your lady home, ball, 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 ball. If I were an Ethiopian, I would be square dancing, and I would love the life of it. If I would square dancing. I wanna believe it. Take me to the place that's full of fever. A strip stroller, a high roller. It won't fake us, it's not Vegas. Up on the plane that's flown by elephants, a crown and coke along the way. Catch a cab ride and lose your lunch to the hotel at which you stay. Pull out your ATM, you're gonna lose it anyway. I've got this ESP that's giving me the call. Peter's got you hands on me, but I got the alcohol. So I lay down my last $50 for me. I'll get some extra love. 5 hours roll by and you're very hungry. Stop at the 24 buffet. Don't stand in line behind the old fat old lady, 'cause you'll be standing there all day. And if you wanna be that 360, eat the cocktail shrimp. I've got this ESP that's giving me the call. Peter's got you hands on me, but I got the alcohol. So I lay down my last $50 for me. I'll get some extra love.
Ray Who on KWJUDAS 3 Radio Provo. And that was some of their earlier recordings from the late 90s, early 2000s. We were kind of in the middle of these guys' legacy, and we left off around there like 2001. So what happened then? So you guys kind of took a little break for almost a decade or so.
Right. Well, the final the iteration of Hooray Who that's on the album from those tunes were from our album Whiter Than Stockton Gimp Funker, which was released in 2000.
That's the name of the album?
Yeah.
Whiter Than Stockton Gimp Funker, and there's a story behind that.
Yeah,
actually.
you're gonna have to tell me that story.
So
'cause
in 97 or so, 96, 97, Catfish played at a local concert at the Gallivan Center, a great called, and it was like a dozen local bands, and there was voting on one of the local radio stations for who got in, and
so it was a review write-up from none other than Clyde Lewis.
Clyde Lewis.
Yeah. So
if
you heard of him, but he
so
does,
so one of our songs. One of the recordings of one of our tunes from that show made it onto
a CD.
X96 did an end of year compilation CD of live tracks from the shows that they had put on during the year, and a few local bands had spots on them, so they included one of our songs, and he
ripped it apart.
And he called it, and that's how he did.
He hated it or he loved it?
Yeah,
he hated it. In fact, and he called the song. And he called the song a Whiter Than Stockton Gimp Funker.
What does that mean, though?
I don't know, but I loved it.
I don't know, but we just
it was so creative.
This
I
was
loved
what
it.
someone said in a review.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and he's a big radio personality now. He does his own syndicate show.
So he can just
and
make
stuff
up fucking words and say, "This is a Whiter Than Stockton Gimp Funkel."
Here's the funny thing
what
about
a chode. Mad props to whoever chode said that.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is,
what was the name of this chode again?
Clyde Lewis.
Clyde Lewis, you chode.
So he was.
What are you doing right now? Just making up new stupid words, pretending to be Snoop Dogg?
The funny thing is right after I graduated high school, I went to a radio broadcasting tech school, and he was one of my instructors. And so
I
he
bet
had
you guys
no idea.
got along great.
We did. I wish we got along great. But
You said you're a Gimp Funkel.
No, I didn't bring it up. Like because I
You're
think
whiter
I
than
was
Stockton.
Yeah. I was out of school, but at that point, but.
Yeah, so
I had to laugh. So
that's how that. So when Hooray Who was in the studio, we were talking about what do we name the album, and I can't remember who suggested it. It's like, well, why don't we use that? Let's name the album Whiter Than Stockton Gimp Funker.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it.
So at about the end of 2001. Hooray Who broke up, as bands are wont to do, and everybody kind of went their separate ways. And we maintained, friendships over the years and everything.
This guy's review broke your band up.
Oh no!
That was actually on Catfish.
Damn.
He was reviewing Catfish. He wasn't even reviewing Hooray Who.
Right.
Right.
So this was a
right.
review of a Catfish tune that we decided let's use that phrase. Years later when we're trying to name this album.
Yeah. There's all these Easter eggs with Hooray Who. Like they're everywhere.
I love Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But then we got together and rehearsed and did a couple of reunion shows in 2010. And then
let's bring things back to 2010. Now Hooray Who is back again, and let's have another tune.
Let's get some. Should we get into some of the new stuff?
Yeah. So we just released a new EP on December 9th. Called
of this
Igniter.
year.
Yeah, this year. So
So
it just came out not that long ago.
So you guys only have 2 CDs or 2 albums.
It's not even really an album because and here's the debate on this one. So it's called Igniter. There's only 3 tracks on it. And the debate is that qualify as a single or does it qualify as an EP? What do you say?
Oh, man. I don't know. A single. See.
When somebody says, "Hey, check out this single," what are you imagining?
A single can still have 3 tracks, yes, but usually the 2 tracks are overshadowed by the single for a reason. Like the other 2 tracks will be a live version of a song that's already been released,
or a remix,
Yeah. I think if it's 3 songs, each one of which is its original thing, and there's nothing like. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a live version, a cover song, a remix, or anything else. They're all just their own 3 original songs. I would still count that as an EP.
Right. I would too.
Even if it's just 3 songs.
Sure.
Should we put it to a vote? All in favor of it being an EP?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
cool.
You
It's
got me.
unanimous.
All right.
So as tonight, it's an EP.
All right,
So you have
That'll
one
change tomorrow.
LP and one EP.
Right. So we put out one album when with Catfish, and then Hooray Who came around. We put another out, full album, and then this is the first release from Hooray Who since that album in 2000.
But here's the catch to this new stuff, right? Is these were all written 20 years ago.
Ah, cool.
Right. So this is new stuff that the band was working on, about to get back into the studio when it broke up in 2001.
Word.
So this is. Like it's new Hooray Who, but it's old.
Yeah, it's finally getting the life that it was always meant to have. So, So anyway, new song.
This is the new Hooray Who on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo.
Opinions are self-taught and I'm still learning. What one believes is right and true. Don't think less of me if less than you. Here I am, I know the reason you have come to point the treason. Disregard this culture season we are living in. Try to call, but you won't have it. No response because I don't think true friendship is lost and habit, not a part of your plan. Revelation, rapture, Armageddon. Oh, revelation, rapture, Armageddon. Polar caps on Earth are melting, falling to the ocean, drowning. On the way down, I remember younger years and life thereafter. You said it has to be this way. It's hard to know that life is ever changing, but the sacrifices you have made left me hurt in love that's so dismissing. So go ahead, I won't stop you, your choice is made. I hope it suits you, may all the things that you choose to be blessings inside. I have learned from you to let go, better days ahead now. I know, I still know that I am your for memories never die. Revelation, rapture, Armageddon. Revelation, rapture, Armageddon. Polar caps on Earth are melting, falling to the ocean, drowning. On the way down, I remember younger years and life thereafter. Do you remember when we met? Behind the years I thought that you were wet. Things you showed me never to forget. Words of wisdom practiced you can bet. So here we are, we set the table, change it all because you're able. You placed on me an outcast label. Do you feel the same way? Struggle with this betrayed emotion, guns gone and all this motion gone. Other ways of compensation, I guess it's confound. Revelation, rapture, Armageddon. You take too much and you give them. Never once in a lifetime deal so chill. Don't be a fool, the doctor feelings gone you.
I'm sorry for the stupid things I do. I never meant the weapons to harm you. I wanna have everything to lose like you.
Another day I go astray, 'cause there's nothing left to say. If I could only walk away, but I still want to stay. What can I make up my mind? No visuals, 'cause love is blind. Now I'm playing catch up with my time. Please let me lay it, let me stay here. Sooner or later we'll be together. I know that we can work this through. Till then I'm just a friend apart, and your need for sexual sin. Will this ever end? Stop! Just back up a minute. I wanna take time to explain before you give it to fit the shoes. This is my situation. Love is difficult and full of frustration. And then you tell me love is all you need. But to master that, you have to plant the Red Sea. Wake up and smell the flowers and believe. Tell me that's not your philosophy. There's more to life than that, man, please.
What makes you think that I can read your mind when your signs keep changing up all of the time? I'm in disguise with the lies that you think that I'm telling. And instead of conversating, you're cursing and yelling. Just keep on with that frustration you're giving. I try to keep up, but damn, that's not living. So let me know the situation, let me see the scars so I can find out who you are.
This is me, my desperate plea. I need a clue, yeah, anything. A sign that everything is fine if I should let you be. Or you'll tell me that it's cool, but then you treat me like a fool. Is there anything that I can do? I wrote a letter, felt this better. My heart up from the gutter. You say that you're the victim in this game. Oh, to you it's nothing new. Now I'm utterly confused. It's been weeks, so what's the use? Wait, a damn old river, I'm making me shiver. You take too much and you give one. Never once in a lifetime feel so chill. Don't be a fool, the doctor feels gone you.
I'm sorry for the stupid things I do. I never meant the weapons to harm you. I wanna have everything to lose like you.
Everybody seems to know what's best for me. Blaming all their troubles on society. Put your best foot forward in every situation. Building more frustration. Looking at the facts, I'm not an optimist. Looking at the facts, I'm not a pessimist. Looking at the facts, I'm just a realist pertaining to the facts of society. I ask myself, what am I doing here? I put me on the shelf. Feels like I should be doing something else, yeah, somewhere else with someone else. But this is the life I've chosen. 10 years to testify. Sure beats a dead-end job, and the more you degree, they won't abide. Looking at the facts, I'm not an optimist. Looking at the facts, I'm not a pessimist. Looking at the facts, I'm just a realist pertaining to the facts of society.
Where do I come from? Tell me, where have I been? Where am I going with so much sin? What's the big problem with this day and age? I don't think about that shit when I'm on the stage. The chef is on my left and women Chris on the other. Brian's in the back, cause you know he's my brother. With this story makes you feel so good. Jumping and thump for jumping like you should.
California has a new motto, see. We don't give a damn about you till you give a damn about me. So tell me who came first, the chicken or the egg? Until something gives from all this hay, what difference does it make? Looking at the facts, I'm not an optimist. Looking at the facts, I'm not a pessimist. Looking at the facts, I'm just a realist pertaining to the facts of society. So hey, criminals, you gotta keep on doing crime. To all prisoners, we buy your lunch, so keep doing time. Smile like a politician, with lies you will deny. See the fire from the sky and tell me it's alright. Looking at the facts, I'm not an optimist. Looking at the facts, I'm not a pessimist. Looking at the facts, I'm just a realist pertaining to the facts of society.
Time flies by, can't figure out where it went. But when the fat lady sings, you better hope it's well spent. Take advantage of the chances that get those in your direction. Keep intentions pure so you can smile at your reflection. These truths are those that we held to be self-evident, but we've become a nation that's divided by our government. But life goes on regardless of the situation. Get up, stand up, provide good vibrations.
Looking at the facts, I'm not an optimist. Looking at the facts, I'm not a pessimist. Looking at the facts, I'm just a realist pertaining to the facts of society. From the at-home militias to the area time, from guerrilla warfare on the far east side. We don't know too much about the little. We know it's gonna make us stronger as it goes to show.
I love that ending.
Ass jaw for the win.
Yeah. That's right, ass jaw.
Absolutely. So that's the new shit.
That is the new EP.
That was the whole new EP.
or,
all of it.
Or glorified single.
Yes.
Called Igniter.
That was the Spotify single,
Yes.
even though there were 3 songs on it.
Yeah. You can find it on all of the major platforms. It's going to be on iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, TikTok, all of them.
That just came out this year. So we were talking about how you guys came back around 2010-ish, and then you came back again around now-ish. So what did happen again between those that gap right there?
I thought it was over.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
the 2010 reunion was never more than that. It was, hey,
That-
you guys, let's
just one
get
show?
together.
Yeah.
it was
one
2 shows.
Yeah,
that we-
one all age, and then one that was at a bar in Ogden that actually sold out, which was pretty impressive. But
right.
Oh, nice.
But it was never going to be more than that. It was let's rehearse this set to play these shows. Just a one-off reunion.
Yeah, for the fans. That was kind of like we owe it to the fans sort of thing.
And then you just didn't talk again for another almost 10 years.
Right.
Right.
Damn.
Well, I think at the time there was some members in the band are like, hey, this is a lot of fun, man. You know, we should keep doing this. And I'm like, yeah, we could have kept doing this 10 years ago. You know, like, no, I'm done, you know. So I think I was still maybe a little bitter about that. So maybe it was probably the reason why that didn't take off from 2010 was probably where my head was not in the right space.
Well, I wasn't. I wasn't.
continue
I mean, I didn't want. I wasn't at a point where I was going to put more of my, my time and effort into it more than the one off.
Yeah.
At
So
that
just
point
timing
either,
wasn't right to.
Yeah.
But then
to carry that
about
over,
a
but
year
makes
ago,
sense.
so Dave, our sax player, he met his wife, his now wife, just after those 2010 reunion shows.
Right.
And so she'd never seen us, had never, it had heard all of the stories and everything, and was always kind of bugging her hubby to try to spark another reunion. And she got sick of him not doing it, so she actually cold contacted Zach and I on like Facebook Messenger and just said, hey, I'd like to, let's get together for drinks and just talk about maybe you guys doing a reunion, because I really want to see you guys
Yeah,
play.
she pretty much planted the seed.
Well, and so
Well,
and
nice
I thought
going.
and I thought
Yeah.
and I thought to myself, I'm like, fuck, man, sounds fun. So
Yeah, I was still on the fence.
right, but so I started reaching out to people, and within 2 hours we had a text thread going of all 8 of us,
No shit.
and
Yeah.
everybody saying, hell yeah, let's go for it, let's play,
yeah.
let's and this time kind of coming in where it's like, let's not make any promises we can't keep, but let's not look at it like just rehearse to play a show. Let's be a band again. Let's write some new shit. Let's record. Let's play gigs again.
That's awesome.
And when we first got together to play, we prefaced everybody like saying, okay, look, this is a reunion show, but my intentions anyway, and I think half the band at that point, or a lot of the members of the band, were feeling the same way, just didn't say it. But I'm like, I was just saying, I want to take this on a serious note. Like, I want to keep going from this. I said, but we'll be patient. You know, like we none of us have been really playing music for a while, at least prior, since COVID.
Right.
Yeah. So then after that, we had our show in December. Then we had our CD release, or EP single release, whatever, Igniter on the 9th of December, and then on the 10th we played a show at the Lighthouse Lounge. And so all of these shows and all of these events got booked right after that reunion show. And so the band really hasn't had a chance to sit down and go like, okay, what do we want to do next?
Right. I think it's because ska actually never really died. And there's still been a lot of people who not only have held on to it, but have been waiting to see it come back.
Right.
And it actually kind of is.
And ska goes in waves like that.
It does.
It always has.
Yeah.
It never
takes
goes
a couple
away.
decades.
It's always there. But then every once in a while it pops its head back into the mainstream.
Yeah,
and
it's like it goes viral. Like there's some band that does something really cool, and then it takes off, and then it goes back down again. But it's been around. Ska's been around since the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just
I don't know how many people I've had to educate where they're just like, wait, ska came before reggae? And I'm like, way before reggae.
Yeah. What reggae is like somebody was in a ska band and decided to get high, really high, and go, man,
They
let's just
slowed it
slow this down a
bit.
little. Instead of it's much better, man.
That is how I put it to very many people. It's too often.
Yeah, well, it's we've never really considered ourselves like a traditional ska band. I don't think. I mean, there's very few that actually do. I think, but but by virtue of having horns in Utah, especially in the time where we were really coming up through it, in the late '90s. You get labeled as a ska band.
Sure, if you had a brass section, if you had a horn section, you were a ska band.
But and it was funny because for a long time we kind of fought against. We're not a ska band. We're not. Well, you call us whatever the fuck you want to call us. Just,
anymore. I'm
just
like, I don't
listen.
care.
Just listen and hopefully the music will make you want to boogie.
But I can tell you this: so that Skalloween show that we did in October, we played with the Makeaways, Slick Daddies, and Arrogant. Right?
I know Arrogant came back.
Yeah, right. It was cool.
Do you guys know them? Because they used to play back in the day
too. They started their lift was like right after Hooray Who broke up. Like It was kind of like this slow. I had heard of them at that time, but we never got a chance to play together. And
I'm just wondering if they're actually back as well.
I heard it was
I think the Arrogant was just a one-off.
Yeah,
night only
they kind of made it clear. Well, the drummer is also the drummer for Makeways.
Okay.
So. They got history too, man, But
I've been talking to them about getting on this show, but the season's over now, so we'll have to see how it goes next year.
But the one thing I noticed about us at Hooray Who playing that gig was we were by far the heaviest band there, meaning it was just like we were a little darker, a little heavier, a little more rock and roll, and so there was some. And that's just how we've always been, right? But so I think the thing I love about being in a band like Hooray Who is we can slide into a genre with ska music. We can slide into a show that is heavily punk or rock, or like Hooray Who is kind of multifaceted. Like you can plug us into just about any genre except for maybe like country or mariachi or something like. Well, we should give it.
I could write.
I could
write the fuck out of some mariachi.
Actually, a mariachi show.
I've been asking to write a mariachi tune for years. So you fucking come on this show and tell me, oh, maybe we could do this because it's I told you like it.
Yeah. No, anyway,
you guys are putting out a new album next year. I mean, there's always room for one mariachi song.
That's right. We'll figure it out.
And I'll have to show you guys my local ska collection, you'll probably remember a lot of names. I still got, look behind you right there.
Huh?
All those CDs.
Oh, damn, man.
Half of that is
It's
local.
like Bibles of CDs in there.
Yeah, I didn't have a car from my CD books to get stolen out of.
Right.
So that's how I still have my CDs.
That's funny.
Because everyone else I know, they'll see those and be like, oh, yeah, I had one of
Yeah.
those. Got stolen out of my car back in the 90s.
I know now people can't even put car and CD together. You know, like as a band with Hooray Who, one thing I'm gonna try and do when we play shows is to try to have physical media.
It
whether
still
be,
sells.
Yeah,
It really
and a lot of
does.
people want like surprisingly it does. You know, like surprisingly people still buy CDs, and whether they listen to them or not is irrelevant. It's like it's more like they just want a piece of that night.
Yeah,
you know, like
just
that
to have
experience.
something.
Yeah, and
Really?
media-
I hope
yeah.
I hope that listeners are walking away entertained and a little bit educated tonight.
I'm sure that no young people have any interest in this show whatsoever, but I like to think that in the future they will.
Yeah, well,
And
you know,
These
they'll
fucking
listen
Gen
to the show
Xers.
when they're grown up.
that's the thing. You know, like this is probably the first time in Hooray Who's history, I want to say, that we've been able to be exclusive with someone like you. You know, like this show is about us, and we get to say how cool we are, and you know, and on such a great program.
or question our life choices a couple of
Yeah,
I
right?
got out of this life
Like,
once.
God, I stopped drinking. Why did I do that?
And I'm right the fuck back where I was when I was 16.
That's right.
Oh.
So,
There's a successful life.
It's the circle of life.
No,
It's
it's never too late. That's why after this, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be the next Morgan Freeman. I'm gonna be an actor.
there you go.
That's right. God damn it. And I'm gonna be famous by the end of next year, and I won't need KWJUDAS to pay for my peanut shells anymore.
There you go.
That's right. I put in my dues. 7 fucking years of peanut shells. God damn it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
So,
Next
hey.
year's the year.
Hooray Who listeners out there, if you would be so kind, as I'm sure there'll be a link in YouTube where you can donate to this show, I'm assuming.
There is actually.
There you go.
Nobody's ever used
Everyone,
it.
yeah, well, you know what?
Let's pop the cherry
let's
on that
pop the
bad
cherry
boy.
on that.
But there is a place you can donate.
Yeah, we have
in the
great-
description of
We
my
have great
videos.
Hooray Who fans, and do us all a favor and give them a little bit of your love there and share the love.
I take money too. Peanut shells you can only do so much with.
Yeah, I meant money. I didn't mean peanut shells.
Once I start making actual money, that's when I know I've made it.
So,
Until then, we're going to probably get on to the cartoon
All right.
all right.
because it is the exciting and final conclusion of our Gumption City Chronicles Christmas special. It's going to be wholesome. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be Durpenshlee. After that, we'll get into one more song from Hooray Who, because if we don't, we're going to be stuck sitting here talking about the ska scene all fucking night, which I easily could do. This easily could have been like a 2 or 3 hour show, just talking about ska,
Sure.
talking about Utah ska, talking about non-Utah ska, talking about where it came from, talking about where it's going. But that is one of the biggest reasons why I not only wanted to have you guys on, but also was excited to have you as kind of our last guest, is because I mean it when I say ska really does seem to be making a resurgence. You know, aside from just you guys coming back, I've been seeing a lot of other bands coming back around who I haven't heard their names around in years, some of whom, you know, like bigger, more national acts and stuff.
Sure.
And some who I didn't know if they ever broke up and they got back together, or I just haven't heard that name around in a while.
Right.
And
That had put
they're
anything
back.
out?
There it is.
Yeah.
And then there's also like a lot of newer ska bands that, like, I don't know how old the Makeways are, but I've only been hearing that name around for the last year or two.
Another great ska band is the Anchorage.
The Anchorage, yeah,
Yes,
I saw
so-
both of those guys earlier this year at the Ice House with an on-tour band called the Space Monkey Mafia,
That is a
which is
great name.
another group of younger people in a new ska band.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what I'm loving that I'm seeing.
This
Is
emergence of
a
ska
resurgence
scene.
of popularity of ska, not just with like old school bands who are
Sure.
coming back, but also in the younger people.
Sure.
I don't know who tipped these younger kids off that, you know, ska's dorky enough to be cool again or cool enough to be dorky again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have seen like quite a few. Also, Slackers just came, with a couple of newer bands that you're like, man, you guys are kids and you're playing music like I would have when I was a kid. That's fucking cool. You must have cool fucking parents. Or you have shitty parents and you wanted to rebel against them and make a ska band to punish them.
That's right.
You're punishing them for being lame-ass parents with your happy ska music.
That's right. It could be the end of the world, but fuck it, I'm in a ska band.
Yeah, they had Kill Lincoln and I forget who else. I missed the other band. But, dude, it's
We the Union.
Yeah, that was it, actually.
Yeah. And then there's the Interrupters.
Another one with younger people
Catbite.
doing an older style, I guess. And it's when you hear that, it doesn't even feel or sound old.
Right.
You know, it's like a whole new breath of life being breathed into what was almost a dying corpse.
Yeah, well, and everything is cyclical, I think, you know. Do it.
So that being said, let us get on with the more ska and the more Durpenshlee, and may you guys have a pleasant next year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for having us, too.
And Merry 2023. Can I say Merry 2020?
Sure, you can say whatever the hell you want.
Have a joyous and prosperous 2020. Shit. Let's play the previously in Gumption Town. On our last episode, a demonic Santa Claus was brought forth from an otherworldly black hole that is rapidly destroying everything in its wake, including the rest of this monologue. Judas, listen to me. You came in early. I know. The opening monologue was blown away. Anyways, I am giving you my last bottle of sweet, crisp Cointreau. You must drink it at once. Ah, sure. I finally found a way to sober up for the first time in my life. This is the closest to happy I've ever been. I got a new car, a new axolotl, and I finally got a new phone that works great. Until just a couple weeks ago. Now Judas, as my newest bestest acquaintance, I hope you can forgive me for what I'm about to tell you. I don't think I like the tall, swanky tone in your voice, tall, swanky, evil guy. Judas, I convinced you to go to rehab in hopes it would reopen the portal that brought me here in the last series. When that didn't seem to work, I switched your phone because it was the only thing I could think to upset you in such a manner. But you do know that black hole only hovers above your head when you're angry and not drinking, don't you? Oh, that thing. Well, apparently it does now. But when the black hole opened up, it just spit out all these Christmas demons and herpes snow. I should skin you like a platypus. I have friends and family that stopped talking to me because of that. If I start drinking again, I could literally lose them forever. I hope you can realize I was just trying to go home and see Mummy for the holidays. And I still could try to jump through that black hole. But once again, instead I offer you this final chance to save your universe. And save Christmas. Yeah, well, what about me? Oh, I think I'll be quite alright. No! What about... Quickly, Judas, drink the Cointreau.
Well, it seems everything turned out just fine now, didn't it, folks?
That's right, Mayor. And, well, here's a gift from us to Durpenshlee. It's all those peanut shells we've been promising over the years.
Thanks, Durpen Guy. And we actually got you some cryptocurrency.
Gee, thanks, guys.
Behold! I am the wizard!
Yes, look. Somehow, it is wizard.
Hey, we thought you were dead!
Nope.
No, we watched you get run over by a mystery van. It was disgusting.
Must have been this crazy guy here.
Oh, don't give me that, you old kidder.
Well, looks like we solved that mystery.
You know what we're missing? A little Durpenchrist. Bring in Durpenchrist.
Aw, you guys remembered my birthday.
Yeah, we got cake and everything.
Oh, I love cake. Can all my friends come in? They love cake too.
Yeah, sure thing. Bring him in.
Over the tree.
Come on.
Hey, kids, remember me? I got my head blown off for being too pedantic.
Oh, I'm sorry I blew your freaking head off, Mr. Prairie Dog.
It's okay, Mr. Smizely. What else is Christmas for?
Well, I guess God blesseth everyone.
Oh, he actually told me to say sorry. He couldn't be here.
Typical. Rainbows. Mommy. Well, at least have a happy New Year's. Well, it looks like this really was the way it was meant to end. Unhappy, unsuccessful, in debt, and alone. Hello, Judas H. Chrypst. You've been anonymously signed up for a 3-year subscription to Triple D's Roadside Assistance. That's Triple D, Durpenshlee's drive-by delivery service. Anytime your car's broke down, we deliver a free pizza. Sir, you may have just saved a life.
So this is Christmas. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. And deeper in debt. And so when it's Christmas, you tell them I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. To the company store.
Pennsylvania 65.
So this is Christmas. So whoopity-doo. All I got this year was a rig-a-bam blow. A rig-a-bam blow. So this is Christmas. So this is Christmas. And what do you get? And what do you get? Another day older. Another day older. And deeper in debt. And deeper in debt. And so when it's Christmas. And so when it's Christmas. Tell them I can't go. Tell them I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Oh, don't worry, kids. We wouldn't just end the year on a sad note like that on KWJUDAS. No, siree. We got one more song from Hooray Who. Everything will come together here on KWJUDAS, and have a happy New Year.
Quite some time, don't really care.
We'd like to thank all those out there who have been joining us over the years for yet another exciting episode after exciting episode of KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. Both legends who perform on yet another exciting season of KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. We now turn you back to our regular Free Radio program.